Hello, hello. I hope everyone's doing okay. Welcome back to the stream. And yes, our husband returneth. How are you, Asti? I hope you're well. I, pleasantly fulfilled from the chicken I had. Yes, returning and full of feathers. Visit a shower, have some food reserved for later. That's fair. How are you doing, Vico? Edgeworth. Yes, I had a whole chimkin from Nando's. How are you doing, Colsta? It's been a long time, right? This person? This is Mr. Edgeworth? Doing okay. I over... Oh, I was trying to figure out what the hell does overate mean. Oh, I overate. Gotcha. Pick me out. I'm still here 1 hour. I need to get better at sleeping. Okay, it is 10 o'clock now. At 11 o'clock, you're getting kicked out. What am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong? You haven't changed a bit, Franziska. ... You? How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name, dragging it through the mud. Even ran away with your tail between your legs like the ill-bred dog you are. Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way? Then let's hear it, Franziska. How are things going? I hear you're having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country. You? You seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back. Keep your assumptions to yourself. 0% win rate. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I will see you tomorrow in court. It'll be a clinical lesson on the meaning of total victory. I have yet to see you win yet, though. Still the same wild mare she always was. Well, we don't need to talk to him, so let's just move. No, I'm not going to do that. Tomorrow's trial. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died. Mr. Nick? I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. He smirks at you. 9999 damage from the smirk. So no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. ... Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What's that supposed to mean? I have something definitive that you lack. And working together is the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth? He looks so tired. It might be the shading. In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? Proof of Von Karma blood. A lot of things may have happened, however Manfred Von Karma was still my mentor, and a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. 1 year ago, you got established guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you lost your perfect win record? ... I think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It'd have been better for everyone if you never came back from the dead. Wow, Phoenix. Phoenix is just being a right asshole. I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Well, With Franziska, she almost always says, "I will defeat you this time," the instant she sees me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client. To save their lives. To save your client, you say? Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals. Those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Sorry to clear my throat. Even if you're a prodigy, or someone like you, Edgeworth, it looks like there is still a lot you've yet to learn. A lot I've yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. No interest in talking about useless evidence. Okay, so that's the nothing. God, what a smug asshole. I love him. Right now, Phoenix is just being an asshole, while Edgeworth is being a smug asshole. Yep, still nothing. Okay, nothing for that. What about profiles? Yeah, he's an asshole with 20 charisma. A few key players with limited resources. There's a waste of energy investigating this person. Don't have any info. Okay. Okay, that's nothing. 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 Oh, here it is. There's an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Miss Andrews getting close to him? That's pretty common tabloid affair, isn't it? I don't take things at face value when there's more to be found. Okay, that's useless, thank you. While I was abroad, these deplorable types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing? And what is so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. Aw, does Edgeworth have hay fever? Yeah, that's nothing. Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel that this whole case revolves around her. Okay. That's nothing. This woman was another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago, suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Corrida's manager. Oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to call him Juan Corrida. And then a few months later, Celeste Impax died. Beth was ruled out, I think, right? Yes. But there's still one riddle we've yet to solve. I feel asleep. A riddle? Her note. It went missing. No one can find it. A note that just vanished, huh? Okay. Missing note. It was certainly that there's no mistake. However, we could not find the note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The note? How do you know Impax had ever written such a note? There was no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a note very high. But who would hide such a thing? Police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her note. He had his own note, but why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. Not the best, but I'm getting through it. This was the case that I thought was in the third game, but it's actually in this game, and I'll get through it. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the report. Part 1 anyway. Part 1. Report out of the court record. Okay. I don't like to look through reports. I like reports even less. Worst of all, the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That is 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. But the second part. The second part of the report is about that. The blank is Adrian Andrews. So he literally gave me the report just for me to show it to him so he gave me the second part of the report. He doesn't seem like the kind of person to try. I think she's a strong career woman. That's just what she wants you to think. Certain secret she's always trying to hide. A secret? Her dependent nature. That's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews, dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what that woman is. You'll probably notice that I'm not saying specific words. That's just for my own sake. I hope people don't mind. Sorry. Dependent nature. What is Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Her was a few days after the death of Celeste Impacts, and why did Andrews think about that? Because she'd apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will, but why would she? Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impacts, was gone forever, that's why. Why would that? Is that what they call following someone to the grave? After her, Adrian Andrews started attending counselling sessions. This is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. But once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others? When Celeste Impact suddenly died, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. How do you have access to her like her counselling notes? With her super confident attitude, it's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behaviour to hold herself together. How terrible. Yep, there we go. Okay. Let's try to confront her with it, I think. I already broke that psych lock, did I? Yeah. Oh, is she gone now? Oh, Miss Andrews is here. Oh, she's here. Looks like she's talking with someone. That's Von Karma. Miss Von Karma? What are you doing here? I'm doing investigation for the trial, like any good lawyer would. Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so... You've got some nerve following me around. I went to the police department. Oh yeah. You're the one doing the following. Pearls. You're always following after that Mr. Detective with a little beard. Me? Following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. Let me show you something interesting. Little girl. Oh shit. Does she have the scanner to find the Dragon Balls? Oh, what is that? An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move. Isn't that quite illegal? That noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood. Alright. What were those two talking about? Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she? Do I have enough now for this? Motive for murder. Why was Juan Carita murdered? Ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Gar's life in danger by your actions? Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? Because I'm not that close to Mr. Carita. You're not that close, that's right. Okay, so I think we start off with this, right? Miss Creator had an intimate relationship, did you not? A silly third-rate tabloid article. If even half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish. Side note, I love the fact that nowadays, whenever tabloids have like a bullshit news story or something, people on Twitter, like the subject of the article on Twitter are like, yeah, no, this didn't actually happen. As we expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Okay, in any case, spies interpersonal relationships like that. I see. However, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone? Me? Need to get close to Mr. Kurita, as if there was ever such a need. For this person's sake? Is it hers? It seems so. Celeste Impacts, your mentor. How do you know about Celeste? Miss Impacts, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Kurita's manager. So I believe you got close to Mr. Kurita so you can find out more about her. You have a great imagination. Maybe future yet as a slimy muckraker for a putrid third-rate tabloid. Miss Andrews? There was no mystery surrounding her death. Oh, you pointed for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing. Not really true. Was there really no mystery at all? Don't believe you were completely at ease with the way it was resolved, because there was no note. It was never found, was it? Not that the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered her body, Mr. Kurita. Juan? And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That is why you became intimate with Mr. Kurita. True that Celeste is my mentor, however, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. Didn't even know it was never found, and a person doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others. That's the impression you like to give, however, I don't think that's who you really are. What? Evidence that says otherwise. One very special. This one. Miss Andrews, you... Yeah. Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. You can ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself. However, that is all just a lie, a facade. You've always searched out people on whom you can depend on. That's... You're dependent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had. Okay, there's one lock left. I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note. Okay. The police suspected Mr. Kurita of hiding the note. You heard about it and thought to recover from him by getting close, am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes. What do you mean? What topic did we start the conversation on again? It was, why was the victim killed? Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become the one of the reasons to want Mr. Kurita dead. Me? Miss Impact was everything to you. And then she died. You'd do anything to find out why she died. Even commit murder. Murder? Oh, I didn't have to do anything to break that lock. Interesting. Motive for murder. True, I'm one who can only live in insecurity. I'm physically small, I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. Pushed against all that, though. Try to live strongly. Never wanted anyone to find out the truth. Miss Andrews. This one thing, it's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret, mine and mine alone. I am sorry. Yeah, it's a huge tonal shift. You're probably thinking of a worthless human being right now, don't you? Please, Miss Andrews, all I want to know is the truth. After Celeste passed away, I heard that someone had hidden her note. And that someone was Juan Kurita. Celeste, without her, I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me. Fucking mood. So you got close to Mr. Kurita to recover her note, correct? Looks like that tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it? Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. They purposely add fuel to the fire that keep the celebrity world burning. But, as for the note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. It just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so... I understand. Oh, I have one small favor to ask. I'd like for you to keep it a secret. If people find out about my weakness, I would sooner choose... Alright, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, I guess she's the overthinking type. Probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first. Thank you for your discretion. Mr. Nick, can I ask you something? Oh, what is it? Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back. That card? Yeah, I guess she has. Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag. Oh, shit. Or is that like, do we get another card and we get a Slowpoke? Or what, is a Slowpoke the one that has the shell biting its tail? I forget which Pokemon it is. Looks like a seashell? And that's what it looks like, doesn't it? Slowking, that's it, thank you. I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from. Or not remembering something clearly sounds like it would be a rare occurrence. Well, I must be off. I leave Mr. On Guard in your quote-unquote capable hands. Anything new here? Not really. Tenor bets there'll be something new. Oh, here we go. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can. But what about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Oh, Pearl, she looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all, and has been walking all over the place with me today. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right? Oh, no. I'm okay, really. I'm fine, I really am. You don't look fine to me. I'm just going to pass by places just to make sure they're not missing anything. No. So, what now? Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive. You mean Miss Impax's note? That's right. Pearl is 80 years old. Don't have her exposed to this. That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever. Oh. Ah, Mr. Nick, the transceiver. Beep. Hello, Wright & Co. Law Offices. Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone. Maya, where's Maya? As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time. Ew. Which is why I used a gun. Which is why I suppose she's absolutely famished. What? So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost, wouldn't you agree? Wait, Maya, let me hear her. Very well. Ask my... Maya, is that you? Sis, ask my sis. Beep. Maya, damn it, he cut me off. Mystic Maya said ask my sis, didn't she? Sis? It means that Pearl should channel Mia. Come on, Phoenix. Ah, you're a hopeless one. Sorry. Ah. You're gonna get me banned on Twitch. Mia, I have a message from Maya. So come, ask me anything you want about her. Oh, did she leave like a note or something for Mia? Then channeled Mia to get the information. And then send the message for Pearl to channel Mia. Because Mia has the information. That's clever. Maya's situation. How's Maya? She's safe, for now. My kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe, but Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left, and I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. It's literally like a ghost email. The kidnapper, what's he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. Is this the second case where she's been drugged in this game? And she didn't see the face of her attacker. Maya's locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her? I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I had to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. Oh, now I'm playing as her? Interesting. There's all sorts of things piled up here. It's too dark to see. There's a light up there. Huh? Someone dropped a card here. Kinda looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. What a strange card. Drat, it's locked. This door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. Well, there's a card like that around here I could use. Ah, that's it. This shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I have a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it. Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting, or worried. To be continued. Cool, so thanks for watching the stream. I'll see you again tomorrow. Nah. Save, continue. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there'll be a mountain of evidence that'll implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Stopping early so I get my sleep, are you? No, you said an hour, so I'm going to stick to the hour. If you want to go to sleep before then, I encourage you to do so. You need your rest, but, you know, it's up to you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. Mia? You must get a complete acquittal today. I know. Well, I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Beep beep beep. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grrr. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer Dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Get it? 'Cause he's lying. Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ah, shit, we win. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. Prosecutor von Karma has... This morning, Visk von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? The fact that it took this long to figure out? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss von Karma was one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Oh shit, final case against Payne? This is totally insane. Miss von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good, phew. I thought he'd show up. Worth Edge. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, unnaturally. Why are you in the witness stand? We have Phoenix versus Edgeworth. Miss von Karma was shot in the right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Shot in the right shoulder quite like her father. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct, for now. For now. After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Why? Prosecution's no need for it to press to witness. Oh wow. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now let's have your testimony. If you want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. Yes, Edgy boy. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Awards ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. I mean, look at that 1 centimeter stab wound to the right torso. And the massive amount of blood there. Huge. First we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. That is a very odd thing to specify in the testimony. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I'm gonna press everything first. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 PM, it ended around 8 PM, then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during the 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, Detective. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt on Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she'll grace us with her presence. Judge, that does not seem appropriate. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. Hmm. The cause of death? Wasn't that because Mr. Kurita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Oh yeah, was he choked? Interesting. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped entirely around his neck. Yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? At least age is 16 times, that's an improvement for the judge, I guess. How old is she? 23. She's been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murder on our hands here. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. That knife wound is fairly superficial. There's something suspicious about the empty guitar case, but And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jamma Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that, Judge? This is your... No. We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. I mean, it's entirely possible the guitar case was left open. You wouldn't have to touch the guitar case if the case is already open. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory, then. There is some water blowing on top of the lid, bears Kurita's fingerprints. However, we later found out that the guitar... Oh yeah, oops. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Kurita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. Do you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Or he brought something else in the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. That guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest on guard? Matt on guard and Juan Kurita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jamma Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Are you sure? There's a lot of presumptions going on. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. The Gatewater, so... The knife belonged to the hotel. And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? This button... And this button also covered... And is this button covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. You say that, but I've beaten you every time. Grr. Okay. Again, we're going to press everything as normal. In terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carita was always one step behind Mr. On Guard and everything. This year seems like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Carita lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad, he must have been pretty downhearted after losing. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard is beating Mr. Carita in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective? It's not, well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's... I look forward to your pension negotiations, oh god. No! Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony. Poor Gumshoe. Please tell me Gumshoe was in the third game. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. It's only the prosecutors who are mean to Gumshoe. Yes, sir, you're talking about pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? Siri, I didn't want to talk to you. Please, close down. Thank you. There, the jam on his button. Okay. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Oh, wrong button. Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Phoenix calls him fat. Does he call him fat or just think he's fat? I can't remember. Can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir. Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread? Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match the ends of the thread in the costume with the thread in the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. It is ripped off. Okay. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Carita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? The fingerprints over the knife. Okay. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? Defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes it premeditated. I want to press it, but I'm going to present the knife because the knife says Gatewater, which means that it belonged to the hotel. There's no way this is premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. Doesn't foam, it's not great for walking around with either. Oh, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix, yes? Something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. Still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. Yeah, okay, so... Save. I present the knife itself. It was correct. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. How terrible is this police department? That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. This is the second murder case you've been on that has involved this hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? Oh, he did the pointy thing. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How's so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that's dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't... Oh. Whimper. Poor Gumshoe. The question is... where did this knife come from? Well, it's obvious it came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. We apparently have photos. There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world does this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. He's missing a knife. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Burk. Mr. on guard had gone to the victim's room with a knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Hello there, Toxie. I don't know why Sound Alerts is being strange. I hope you're well. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honour's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defence were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defence have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well... Phoenix, the judge is favouring the prosecution right now. The answer is something wrong here. That gavel of his will be ringing out the sound of our defeat. Yes, Franziska von Karma was shot in the shoulder, so Edgeworth is taking over. So, he is back, and Phoenix is being a dick to him. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Not Whippy Lass. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. Mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. Oh! Okay, I'm saving here. I know I just saved, but this is closer to it. The entire bar. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? What is the important evidence? Not yet shown to the court. What evidence is it? Is it this? And next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. No sign has been drank. Oh, I think I got it right. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because the victim struggled against his assailant. The vase is broken. His makeup was all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? Could she have done it without thinking? No. You appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. No, because she hadn't drank it yet. Yeah. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You turn the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any, he's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There are only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants, rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? Had her fingerprints. That is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Grr, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, Mr. Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario, as it explains everything all too well. Grr. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor, and from here on out I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Oh, wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Yeah, there was. Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Oh God. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Bailiff, whack his pee-pee. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Gotcha. I love stressed Edgeworth. Literally, yeah, he's won the match and now he's trying to do an elbow drop from the corner onto us. By the way, Vico, it is about 11 o'clock. You should go to bed now. Take care, Vico. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, Edgy boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report of their testimony, but who knew that under that helmet it was the Wicked Witch of the Witness Stand? Take care. The Wicked Witch of the Witness Stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even the things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No, please by all means interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. Choking. Oh, I'm back. I turned the mic off so you wouldn't hear. Okay, I'm good. Oh, I'm good. I am not dead. Okay. No. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man. Juan Carita. No, I was eating something and he got stuck. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying... I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, Matt on guard. He tried to sneak his way out of Juan's room. Okay, I think I'm... Oh, yeah. So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. We're going to, again, press on everything. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. He even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Do you need a break? No, I need to save Maya, that's what I need to do. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Whoops. Something you're interested in? And just what was that? Is that some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know? It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgy Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to our testimony later. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. Did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Well, since I was on the job, whoops. Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Kurita's room? I have no idea. You just freaking indicted yourself. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? Not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was. Yes, he was. Ah, I'm too scared, I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Franziska's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. You saw my client? Are you sure about that? Yesy? Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why'd I get a sense of deja vu? Yeah, because last time you said, oh, that's Will Powers. It was Jack Hammer in the suit. Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. That's a racing jacket? And he's wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant anyway? Sure. I haven't saved in a good few seconds. I don't think it was that important. There's 3 minutes, that's... I don't think she's lying, that's bad for us, really bad. I was a questioner. Let's press and see if it was lying about that. Yes, see? Really? What was the person carrying? What was the man you saw carrying? In which hand? His right or left hand? And now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question. Indeed, please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry, what was the man you saw carrying in his right hand? He wasn't carrying anything in that hand. Then how about his left hand? Empty. Well, this whole thing is about a lot of nothing. There was nothing. Oh, I think I have an idea. Let me go back around. Let me do the last thing just in case. Because the button was found in his costume, but if he came out in his normal clothing. The part person's face. Man's face in more detail. You need me to tell you about his face? That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth. His teeth were shining? Well, he's shining all round in this week's pin-up poster, dearie. This week's pin-up? Why do you... I mean... I don't care how he looks in this week's issue, please stay with what you saw that night. He's describing Vic. But on Guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, wee whippersnapper. I need to get the clothes. Because... yeah, I need to press and get the clothes. Dinner time, be right back? No worries, Asti, enjoy. If one doctor hadn't thrown his medical bag and assassinated to kill a king, China wouldn't exist. The person's clothes. Okay, so go to the clothes thing and say it is important. It was important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. And perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. Find their kids to be doctor. And did you see the guy that was a doctor, a Navy SEAL, and then an astronaut? Witness, please. Ah, well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. The button. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? Ah, it's button number 2 on the Jamba Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Onguard's body during a full-body search. See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Onguard. He was caught up in the plaits of his nickel samurai hakama pants. She's really lost her marbles. Perhaps. See, and Onguard is the nickel samurai. A witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Onguard, is wearing his usual racing jacket? Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. Oh, hush. I wore the trendiest dress. Oh, there you go. I love that she ended her rant with the gun. Hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Onguard the man. But Mr. Onguard the nickel samurai? When you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. You're making the same mistake you did with Will Powers. Miss Oldbang, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. She's an absolute fucking idiot. Yeah. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Sigh, alright if you insist. She should be the one sighing. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Onguard. Yes, now I remember. Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. They must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, young'uns today. I told you, there is no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. Can we just get rid of her? Can the bailiff just quietly push her off of the witness stand, please? At least she's just as delightful as a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. That's the face and the tone of a judge who is like, I know exactly what you're going to say to indict this witness because it's blatantly obvious. Would you please get on with your testimony? Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's a nickel samurai. He's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and just stick to the facts. Okay, you promise, right? Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Want me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Imagine charging someone else for a stick of gum. Okay, you saw the nickel samurai. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago? Let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? Huh? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? I'm asking the questions here, not you. My dream, huh? Well, I, wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court, so what? See? Look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Aren't you? I got told to stick to the facts. Part of me wants to have, like, this whole animation as, like, a gif or an emote or something for mods to have when they're, like, dealing with someone. Just old bag in the suit with the gun. Well, what I said earlier, who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? Since the very beginning of this game, of this series. All that matters is that man was inside that costume, isn't that enough? But you don't know. Judge Wagner. Yes, it would have been inconvenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. And why would that be? That way, no one could see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it, maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. You had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. And that included the Jama Ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when a guard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. What's what I call? Must have. Let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? No. Can I throw in the towel yet? You think too hard on this one, huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what the contradiction means for us. Well, I'll have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Let me have a look at this first. Maybe it's that picture? He must have worn... What am I missing? Does the costume have a glove on it? Yeah, the costume has a glove on it. I'm gonna save and present the image. Because I think that's it. Or is it the knife? Oh, I think so. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at, and whose car are we driving? Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai... If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there was one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? What part is this? We are currently getting Old Bag's testimony. And how are you doing, Scrollock? I hope you're well. So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with his theory? There is a contradiction. Because he was saying it was premeditated. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. Well, what are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. I think it's a knife. How's your day? How's chapter 4? Some topics I have difficulty with, just on a personal level, that I kind of skim over. I don't really say some of the words, but that's a very personal thing. Day's going okay. Had therapy in the morning. This knife. This was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. I need to steal that line. Your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over... Therefore means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees in a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. She was using her toy ray gun the whole time, it was fun. Order, order I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt on guard? Yes, to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame... Aren't you forcing interpretation just a little too hard in this one? Just the suppository one. Your theory was flawed from suppository 1. But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Grr. Witness? Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo? Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Crida, am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So, Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita. Do the odd save, for sure. Maybe, Phoenix, maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think me is hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you're running for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Was it her? Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? See that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Well, this is... I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. And then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's... Agent Andrews, without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Also, Scrollock, you missed it. I almost choked to death on stream, it was fun. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness? What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. I love just the rattling, the cheap sound it makes. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this, really. It's not like we're 10 years old. Yeah, I muted the mic so I wouldn't be coughing really loudly on stream. Matt on Guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? Except the entire courtroom. The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody is above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? You have looked into this matter, and found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. But should this be true, this proves the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. This means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right, on guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn old bags with fire. Is that a saying? Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Okay. So let's just carry on past that. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says it right here, doesn't it? Manager of the Stars, Miss AA. Ladies and gentlemen, 2002. But there wasn't a Top Gun in 2002, was there? I'm looking this up. Top Gun movies. Yeah, okay, so the two Top Gun films were 1986 and 2022. So this, it would have been either super early or super late. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, you can. That's called being able to separate fact from fiction using a logical basis of understanding the world. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche. Causing a huge scandal. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means, even I know that much. Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. Okay, so let's see what she says here. You have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing? You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. Now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything, but boy do I wish I could do something about you. The name of Luke Skywalker could translate it to Logi Gaimgegel in Icelandic, which basically means a Blaze Space Stroller. That... Okay. The image that came to mind was a sci-fi baby stroller on fire. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? The proof that On Guard... I don't... do I have any proof that On Guard didn't bear any ill will? Blackhead. I don't have anything to offer. See, just as I thought. You're lecturing me about saying things without proof. You're just giving me a free pass, say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's why the cookie crumbles, for you anyway. So, in Irish, right, you know, being an island with European heritage, the Irish language grew without the knowledge of, you know, people with darker skin. There was only white people. So, far, meaning man, and dove is the word black, so far dove, which you might assume might mean black man, in the Irish language means Grim Reaper. Sort of the black man, the man of death kind of thing. So, when it was found out that there were people who were in fact not white that existed, there needed to be a word. So the word that was used was Gurram, as in blue. So blue man actually means a black man, which makes the band The performance group Blue Man Group, an interesting thing to try and translate directly. So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson, something you young'uns need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this. No, stop! Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. This is top secret. You got that no one else but you and me knows yet. Okay. Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows? If that's true, then how do you know the secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. And dot dot dot. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world would an old bat get such a secret piece of information? Press further. If you don't be a good girl and... Oh. I'll get that later. And we get chat back up. There we go. Information. You don't get to go home today. Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me. What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward if you don't leave me much of a choice. This witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as you don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Old Man get her inside information? That'd be something I can use to figure it out. Just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, when I find it, I'm going to press the heck out of it. What do I have? What do I have? What do I have? Tabloid article, the victim was in the case. Okay. Is it something at the end here? Let me just save. Oh, I hit 3. My bad. Oh, did Discord just die? I think Discord just died. Oh well. Okay, let's... Well, back. Get such a secret piece of information. Wait and see. Anything rash for now? Maybe should sit back and watch how things play out. Okay, no. I'm not sure what I'm missing. I'm missing something. Again, I'm just not sure what. So no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? That's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Well, why are you looking at me like that? Stop that. Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire secret info, isn't it? Did she steal the camera? She did. The investigative photographer, a lot of heart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she'd written down some of her outrageous... her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it. That's the note. Ah. Ah, no, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Don't you have a top secret list of groceries you have to buy? Then you were the one who took Miss Hart's note? I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous, puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with an evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. There's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. I love that insult. Would you like some cheese with your fine wine? Well, it's only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once. She's looked like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Fuck her. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Miss Oldbag, that note was with the camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie $1,600 camera disappeared on me." Why, witness. What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too. Grr, looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even though it looked like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you, I fall in love and borrow things from people. Imagine trying to use this line of logic to defend against stealing something that's 1,600 worth. I think your definition of borrow was a little off. I saw the woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. No, it's not. Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry. You must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please, present it to the court. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, and that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Okay. But what does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that, at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is... the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? As if then we're done for. If I raise an objection here and blow it, then it'll put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. Only one road to save Scumming. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange about it. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your other thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's something strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did you take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't you take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo was strange? What about this photo is strange? What about this photo is strange? Long trousers? Is that strange, though? That seems normal for Nickel Samurai. Maybe ill-fitting costume. There's no name on the door. And I think that leads... This is facing towards the hall from where we came. Is it there? Oh. Okay, load. I'll go with your idea, Toxie. His ankles? Person's ankles, that would be one thing. Or you can't. And what does that mean? Where's this photo? Not have been Mr. Angard. You're right, Toxie. I didn't think they'd do the exact same thing again, but they did. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. Yeah, you're right. I just didn't think they'd be doing it again. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious, huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting this trial run itself as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? They haven't damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you've proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? This person who's said to be particularly short is Adrian Andrews. Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? I think it's Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. For starters, I would like to indict every single short person in the world for this murder. She could freely move in and out of Mr. Ungard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon? Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Agent Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order. Looks like this trial has had a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Agent Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Agent Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means the trial will go on for another day. One more day. Ah! If we don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss her testimony. What am I supposed to do? We're just about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection. Now then. Please, Your Honor. To continue the trial, you must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not... I abhor wasting such valuable time. And Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Tisk tisk, unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Agent Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. Whoa. What? Let me guess, Edgeworth has Miss Andrews here. What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Agent Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. We are now calling in Miss Agent Andrews. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well, we will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Okay, let's go to the next section. Defendant lobby number 3. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way, not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. So she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze? Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact as her strength and reason to live. Then Miss Impact suddenly died. It sounded like she left a note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. and that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Kurita. I want to get the note back. That sounds plausible, assuming he didn't destroy it. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's. It was Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Is Adrian Andrews the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Kurita's room? What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ongard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure, what is it? I'm sure everyone in this room was wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly quote-unquote magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Kurita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait, or was it a bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then, witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. What? You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yeah, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. That is when the fingerprints in the wine glass were made, Your Honor. She poured it but didn't drink it? Phoenix, she is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? Is the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this is over. Understood? Understand? Okay, so that's press. And what was Mr. Ongard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ongard did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right? I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence without a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ongard's knife from his room? Edgeworth was being like, Phoenix, you dumb piece of shit. Actually announce what the subject of the sentence is. No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, one was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? Well, what are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind you started to get close to him, correct? Perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, we didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. Maybe we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? And there was his dead body. I was in shock. Okay. You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? She was a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with it being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. You missed that finger waggle. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Oh, and the knife lodged in his chest. 1 second, I need to see this picture again. I need to see this picture. Is that bottle full? If that's the bottle of the tomato juice that was to fill that big glass, but that's still full. The guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you next witness? I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. I want to save here, because it's one of two things. Let's press first. Juice. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. We didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There was no lip marks left in this one glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I'd like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Kurita, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? Yes, I drink juice next to murder people. This is my beside dead people brand tomato juice. I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake, that one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was you trying to say just now? Press. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? But the inside of the case isn't wet, the outside is. Well, the makeup was on the floor, I don't know. It was right on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm so sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, you would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Murder scene emergency juice. The facts come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. I was the one who knocked the flower vase over where it fell onto the guitar case. Again. You forgot, it is trademarked. Yeah, and I just take the same thing and call it murder scene emergency tomato liquid. How's that? I'm gonna present the crime scene photo. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. Or both inside and outside. Well, that's very true. Furthermore, there was one strange thing about this guitar case. Well, what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards would be inside, not outside the case. Ugh. What is your point, Wright? That's not an objection. That the case was closed at the time and the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She didn't implicitly say... She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The writer of the guitar was found in the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be, however... the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? I see that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Make her testify, indeed. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. And you have beaten me every single time by doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, indeed. Something else in the guitar case, anyway. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. Not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. That's why I opened the case, even I don't know. Sure, I don't fucking know why I did this fucking thing. It's like, this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. Okay, again, let's press everything. Tender bets is going to be a bit added to the testimony that I can present evidence against. During your testimony now, did you remember those events? Well, during your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? That's a strange sentence. Well, you see... Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. When like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. Okay. So, you opened the guitar case, then? Oh, then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Krita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do was call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? We're getting back on topic. Not a big deal though, right? The case is empty after all. Oh? Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. It was at the studio, we know this. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. So sorry. Okay. That's something you don't have to say in court, and they're going to pick you apart for it. Is that because you were shocked and dazed discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. One way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at our weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. Okay, they're hinting at a weapon. What evidence do I have? What evidence do I have? What do I do here, folks? Drugs, okay. How do I catch her out? What piece of evidence do I need to catch her out here? In the case, even I don't know. Okay, I have an idea. I want to save. He was looking for the note. Nope, I failed. Case is empty after all. What am I getting wrong? What am I getting wrong, chat? Anyone have a hint? Don't know. Guitar case after I knocked the vase over. The case is empty after all. True. You are right. I missed that. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Well, why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear Watson. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Yeah, lawyer. Lawyer. I do law. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? I was the night of... It was the night of the awards ceremony. So of course dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange, because the glass had the prints. Why is that strange? That's something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yes, the glass. I have proof right here. There's wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. You took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice. Wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? We broke her glasses, now she's blind. Did she put on a spare pair of glasses? I remember years and years ago, I was very young, We had a bouncy castle in the back garden for, I think it was like a Holy Communion. And my brother did a backflip with glasses on and landed on his face. He had to go to the eye doctor. Order, order, order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. Hmm? What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the Wright guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. That works. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided objections. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Anders had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Yes, I can substantiate this outrageous claim with a quick save scum. Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. That bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that bright black guitar... So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that right? Is that it right? Or wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Yes, you would. That's been half of our career. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? What was inside this case? Is it this? This is a photograph. Yes, what is important is what is in the picture, Your Honor. In this picture? Doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case with the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order, order! Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai doing inside the guitar case? Save scumming, Your Honor. It was a spare costume. Mr. Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume you're talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Please my time, pal, before I answer that. I mean, in an exam, that would be great. Like, you do a quick save before the exam. You do the exam, get the results, see what you did wrong, quick load. Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. No one fantasized about that mid-exam. Yeah, I think it's a fairly common fantasy. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jama Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you wanting to tell about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Meaning, are you sure you can explain this one? I can explain it with time powers! Think carefully before you answer. And answer with gusto, I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. I'm thinking you're right. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai is going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up right. But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Engard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold a press conference as the Nickel Samurai. You're going to dress up as Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet, however, what I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something? And by confess, I bet he's going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt Engard. I'm hoping that the way I'm pronouncing his name is killing Asti's soul. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. You're screaming. Miss Andrews, I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up, and the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Jama Ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And you know what the secret of Mr. Engard's is, Miss Andrews? Not something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. That's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. Engard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Do I hear an angry peacock rushing towards my house to kill me for the way I'm pronouncing Juan Corrida? I think I do. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife, but I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. I cannot roll my auras. I've been trying to roll my auras since the start of secondary school, and I cannot. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. The defense can find no fault with his testimony, and I'm ready to make a ruling. Keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. But somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. Assigned Irish at school. Yeah, so the Irish auras can be quite different to the, let's only say the Latin auras, like the French and the Spanish auras, Portuguese auras. Okay, save. Yes. Press everything again. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. So means. If you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. We've already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. That's like day 1 stuff, means motive opportunity. May I continue now? So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard. And you knew of his plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show any proof they didn't know about the press conference? Anyway, the important thing here is that the information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? And I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Okay, and let's press it a bit more then. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Kurita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard. Yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our... No. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. You said he was sleeping, didn't you? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. Have you ever done that in school, when the teacher, glares in your direction, and you, look behind you, and you tell the person behind you that, hey, I think they're angry at you for something. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. You can already call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought, and during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamma Ninja's costume. Now, that series of events is strange to me, because he was strangled. The knife staying in would have had to have happened after he was dead. So the ripping the button happened after the fight. The button was found in the plaits of Matt Sakama, isn't that correct? I think that makes it very decisive evidence. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Hello, fat Viking with the bunk. Why you bunk? Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off one during his fight with Matt. Here we go, this is what we need. The photo of this. Nope, music's still playing. Load. For Phoenix Flub. Was run off one during his fight with Matt. Yeah, that's it. It was one of those two. This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. This is strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Order, order. What is the meaning? Oh. What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, but the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? Was it to pin the crime on guard? There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There is no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real I guess it's supposed to mean the real murderer is, well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? This sounds like it's a time to save. Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. You can let your guard down yet, not until the very end. The person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is her, I'm guessing. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. What? Oh, another power broken. Order, order, order. Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge, apart from everything that you've shown up until this point? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. What? How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. The knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room, and the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Another pair broken. How many sets does she have? Then, what about the button that was found in Matsukama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he'd already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Her purse is filled with glasses. No, actually, just like behind the witness stand is just box after box of the exact same prescription glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap. You, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints are nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. Well, that's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. Or Kurita could have already opened it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Again, on top of it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law that says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Wow, if only anyone else in any previous case decided to take that law. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing a witness to not testify, the testimony can cause damage to themselves. You didn't know this, Phoenix? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Really? I thought everyone thinks to plead the fifth on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes. Think hard about what we discussed, understood? Alright. And that's it. And that's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. Yeah, to be honest, there's so much pointing towards her that the reasonable doubt is there. It was what told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? Heh. And what's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I'll abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt. No, that's not what pleading the fifth is for. In US law, as far as I recall, pleading the fifth cannot be brought up as a indication of guilt. Yeah, maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I'd be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what shall we do? Somehow we landed in the worst possible situation. I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Agent Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do. That is to declare a recess. A recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter at tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? We don't have it tomorrow. If we don't get a guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial, please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... My assistant has been kidnapped. He was told not to tell the police, quote-unquote. So I suppose if he was to announce it, the judge would get the police involved and yada yada, and therefore Maya would die. It's not possible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. If the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you've found the victim's dead body, you pour yourself a glass of juice. Edgy is so smart. Colsta is there. Like, the stream is open on a laptop in front of him on his bed. And he's lying on his front on his bed, both hands under his chin, legs kicking in the air, with an Edgeworth body pillow beside him. Yes, and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. He also is wearing Edgeworth thigh highs and Edgeworth arm socks. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and I saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Interesting. But the knife wound? So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial, because you said you poured that glass for yourself. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Save, of course. Pressed as usual, but there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Mr. Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I could have said it better myself. Presently I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? Yeah, that's... I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there, with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. It's just me, or that right there sounded a little odd. I saw him sitting like that. And then what did cross your mind? Thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. And then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap, sitting upright in a chair. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all. You thought he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state, thought maybe he had got into a fight with someone, and that's when you went to pour the glass of juice. Yes, it was a hard time waking up. Massive yawn. So, Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. And after that, what happened next? How did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward. And knocked the flower vase over, is that what happened? Yes. This is what it all comes down to, huh? This is the absolute end for both sides. The Adrian's letting her guard down. Phoenix had her best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. Yeah, it's the photo, isn't it? Nope, that was wrong. Fuck, okay. Let me just save. He was dead and crossed my mind. As that he was dead, I knocked the flower vase over. Let me pour it for myself. Let's see. Pour some juice. He's dead. I'll knock the flower vase over. Thought that he was dead. It didn't cross my mind. Let me have a look at the evidence again. Maybe I chose the wrong thing. Is it the knife? Nope. Yeah. From the scarf and the stab with a knife. Slumped over and tired looking in the corner. Thought he was dead, didn't cross my mind. He just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. As he was dead, they knocked the flower vase over. The picture shows the bottle full, right? It's very specifically there. Oh, that is it. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Oh, I was going to a different line of thinking. Ah. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of his chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. Oh, okay, so if I was to construct a sentence, anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that he was a dead man. Supposed to have thought that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, that a single person in the world will mistake this for someone who fainted. This would nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No. Looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matangard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong, Miss Andrews. Try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself. And that's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. And there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matangar's innocence has been clearly... He can't really do that. I've heard of stories where judges have indicated to parties that it's sort of a thing of, this is going to go badly for you if you do X or Y. So maybe consider another option. So if he's saying that you're not testifying means you're guilty, no, you can't do that. But what he's saying is that the evidence currently on show makes me think you're guilty. Are you absolutely certain you want to plead the fifth? Basically, he's trying to give her an out by saying what you are hiding may actually prevent this ruling. And demonstrated. Is it over? Have you found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matangard. Your Honor, prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass out a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Well, isn't that the point of pleading the fifth? You don't want to speak the absolute complete truth because it would self-incriminate? The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? You're in a video game. Huh? I don't know who planted the silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matangard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. We just said it. The judge just said it. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. Oh, what in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma, huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another, because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matangard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now, and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All I have to do now is get a not guilty verdict. That's my only priority. 1 second. It's... Where is the Picard quote? Where is... Is this it? 1 second, I'm going to turn off the stream audio to make sure I have the right one. Is this it? Yeah, okay, here we go. I've found it. Let me get this going.
The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth, or historical truth, or personal truth. It is the guiding principle on which Starfleet is based. If you can't find it within yourself to stand up and tell the truth about what happened, you don't deserve to wear that uniform.
That's the quote that I remembered. Okay, let's get the game back up and going. Yeah, I think I already saved. I can't remember. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please, someone help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The Corps can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. I'm thinking about who's the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else could it be except for the one crying over there, right? Of course not. Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Have her testify. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that, but... I can't bring myself to do it like this, not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you want to know you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place you'd be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet, how dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I'd hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, is it the variation version? I don't think it is. Oh no, this is one of the variations, I think. This witness... By the way, I have the album for the first game on my phone. And when I bought the album, I saw there were other albums amongst the same. So I thought, maybe if I play the games later, I can buy the albums and listen to them. Those albums are gone now. All that's left in their place is like really low quality recordings on iTunes of the tracks. And that makes me sad. This witness, how shall I put this? She has an illness. What? Oh, by the way, what I did here was how absolutely savage Edgeworth is to this person. Like, I don't know this case, but I've heard about how savage Edgeworth is against her. So, Ashley, this might bring into your work and how exactly Edgeworth's words can entirely traumatize someone. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to blank in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah, that's the second part of the report. That report. What we do now, witness. You know what I'm about to do, don't you? This is legal bullying, yeah. I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. This is absolutely unethical, yeah. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop, I beg you. People find out. People find out, I'll... If you're gonna say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I'll pull the truth from your still breathing lips. Like, Edgeworth is a horrible person here. No matter what I have to do. So, Azuki, because you are the expert in this, would I be right in saying that this is quite damaging to someone's mental state? So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore. My quote-unquote crime. Someone's illness at their permission. People call wherever we are in the Phoenix Wright universe, Japanifornia. So perhaps in Japanese law there's a bit of a difference. How much is longer is in this game, by the way? Does anyone know? Because this would probably be a good spot to stop. Okay, fair. There's enough left in it. Then yeah, I'll stop here. So let me save. Oh, no. Save. There's a lot left. Okay, cool. So, thank you very much. Let me see if anyone is streaming right now. Maple is streaming. So, let's raid the good old Maple. He's a good bud, and for those of you who enjoy hunt or multiplayer games. So once again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. And take